Hello everyone, welcome to BadgerBreakdown. Rob Hernandez alongside Jim Polzin as we hit the Badger Breakdown following the Badgers' 27-10 win over South Florida. And Jim, starting first with your game ball, it seems like this guy's got quite the stash going, but hard not to give it to Melvin Gordon again.
He's going to need a trophy case in his house. I thought he was really good in the second half, and as the whole team was. I thought the offensive line did a better job of opening holes for him, and I thought Melvin just ran harder. He told us after the game he was pretty angry, and rightfully so. He basically stepped up in front of the offense along with teammate Rob Hernandez and delivered a pretty passion-filled, not a G-rated speech. And so he led the team today with words and actions, and I thought it was really good in the second half.
All right, switching now to our thumbs up, thumbs down from this ball game. Jim, defensively, there's a guy who's been a big thumbs up this year. Derek Landis, you give him your big thumbs up. Yeah,
speaking of things that, it's become kind of a recurring theme, is Derek Landis is just making plays, and he's getting to the quarterback. He had an interception today that, went through a South Florida player's hands, but he was there and made the play and returned it. This team, we didn't know how many playmakers this defense would have, and Derek Landis just proved, certainly the last 2 weeks, that he's capable of stepping up into that role.
And thumbs down, we've typically given this to an individual, but I think the way you coached today, that as far as giving the thumbs down to a unit, shows that the pass game is more than just one guy.
Right, yeah. And I think it's very easy to point the finger at Tanner McAvoy, and some of those throws, it is his fault. He said after the game that he needs to do a better job with footwork. That's been kind of a season-long issue with him. When his footwork is bad, his downfield passes are bad, and he was dancing around a little too much today, and he knows that. He's the first to admit it. But it's not just him. Alex Erickson had a drop. There's Sam Arneson kind of gave up on a play and wasn't running as hard as he should have been, and it ended up just out of his reach. That could have been a big gain downfield. So I still think this passing game needs to improve, and significantly, before Big Ten play starts, and that's not just one guy. That's McAvoy. That's his teammates.
Time to look at how they see it after this win over South Florida. And Jim, I had the chance to go on at halftime and sort of gauge the fans. 3-3 at the half. They were getting baked in the sun. Yeah. I don't know if they were too thrilled to be here. The Badgers gave them a win, but how will they see it in the end?
Well, I think the Badgers and their fans are getting a little tired of this. I called it a glass is half empty approach. UW's developed a really bad habit of playing poorly, not having a complete effort is what I should say. And they're just not going to get away with that for very long. Northwestern, they play Northwestern next week. That's a team that went into Happy Valley and beat Penn State pretty handily today. So, Wisconsin at some point here has to put a full game together, or it's going to find itself on the losing end of a game that it probably should have won.
Is that how the Badgers see it themselves? Yeah. How do they how do they, I guess, build towards that Big Ten opener off of this, and how much of a sense of urgency is it, like you said, given the fact that Northwestern went out and won today?
The one thing I like about this team, especially from the leaders, is that they'll admit if they're doing something wrong. They're not sugarcoating it. They know that this the playing only one good half a game is not going to cut it, and then they're the first ones to admit it. They don't point fingers at themselves, I don't think. It's really a collective effort. Like today, the Gordon Havenstein halftime speech wasn't pointing fingers at one guy. It was, we need to do this, we need to do that. So I think that's important. I think it's important for a team to recognize what its weaknesses are and then go about correcting it as an outfit, not just an individual. So I think they're headed, effort-wise and accountability-wise, I think they're heading in the right direction. They just need to fix some things up.
And last but not least, Jim, how do the pollsters see it? The hard thing about doing this segment here right after the game, before all the games are completed, is you leave this game, you think maybe they left an opportunity to impress out there on the table, but as we're taping this, number 1 ranked Florida State has itself quite a game with North Carolina State, so you just don't know. I guess it's all relative, but I can't think that this game is going to impress too many people.
Right, and here's a scary thought for Badger fans. Whenever you're seeing this, could be sometime on Sunday, Brett Bielema's Arkansas team could be ranked higher than the Badgers. That's a legitimate. Right now they're up 28-21. I know we're doing this in the afternoon, but I don't think this win is going to impress a lot of voters. You look at the score, it's 27-10. Wisconsin may drop after this week, and that's fine. If they keep winning games, it's not going to matter. But I don't think this is one that's going to make a huge impact on the national pollsters. And
if the Razorbacks are ranked ahead of the Badgers, maybe that's just the light under the fire they need to get the Badgers going.
Sure.
Jim, thanks a lot. This is Rob Hernandez for Jim Polzin on the Badger Breakdown here after the Badgers knock off South Florida at Camp Randall Stadium. Thanks for watching Badger Beat. We'll see you next week after the Northwestern game.